Welcome back to California's fentanyl fight, a CBS News California investigation. I'm Julie Watts. California lawmakers would not increase penalties for fentanyl sales, but they did decriminalize fentanyl test strips, which were considered drug paraphernalia until 2022. Now, along with Narcan, fentanyl test strips are required on state and community college campuses as the messaging is shifting from just say no to no, KNOW. But as test strips are normalized from high school to college to bachelor parties, our testing found fentanyl test strips alone can do more harm than good. It's one of the many lessons learned from the increasing number of fentanyl death investigations that grieving parents desperately hope you'll share.
Taught himself how to play piano.
Placer County Sheriff's Detective Patrick Craven was the lead detective on Zach Didier's case.
Zach died 2 days after Christmas 2020.
And Spencer's, and Jules, and Cade's, and 18 fentanyl investigations later, he says it's not any easier.
You become so close to these victims.
But a lot has changed. For instance, before Zach, when someone died from fentanyl,
It was a coroner's report, and that was it. There was no criminal investigation.
Since then, his investigations alone led to 2 of the state's first 3 fentanyl-related murder convictions. And he's now leading a first-of-its-kind opioid investigation unit in Northern California.
We are not coming across real pills anymore. We are only coming across counterfeit pills.
Using evidence set for destruction and a variety of test strips purchased on Amazon, Detective Craven helped us demonstrate the concern.
So we don't know where the fentanyl was located within this pill.
With Narcan nearby and a dedicated safety officer off camera to administer it, we began crushing what were sold by a dealer as Percocet M30s.
So this is an MX908.
Using this law enforcement mass spectrometer, we confirmed they're actually fentanyl-laced counterfeits.
It detected fentanyl.
Now for the test strips, which are generally pretty accurate.
We're adding the prescribed amount of liquid.
The concern is user error. Unlike COVID tests with fentanyl strips, 1 line is positive and 2 is negative, and instructions vary from test to test.
Sometimes it was hard to follow directions, even for someone like myself.
Each test requires you crush and dilute the drugs with a specific amount of solution.
You're not going to test the entire thing because you're not going to be able to use it.
Some strips require you test the whole pill, others don't. And when we split this pill per the test instructions, running each half through that spectrometer,
The first half of the pill that we tested contained no fentanyl.
which could have been lethal if someone tested only that half of the pill. It's known as the chocolate chip cookie analogy. With prescriptions made in a lab, the medication is equally distributed. If you take half the pill, you get half the meds. But street drugs are more like homemade cookies. Some may have lots of chips, some may have a few. And if you only test a piece of the cookie, you could test a piece without the chips, or without the fentanyl in the case of a pill.
We loved making cookies.
In a real-life example,
No 2 pills are the same.
Zach and his best friend got pills from the same man. Zach overdosed. His friend did not.
If you test 1 pill, it does not guarantee that the next one isn't loaded with fentanyl.
Laura has learned a lot since Zach died. She shares his story through fentanyl education campaigns.
But I always end saying, you're safer than Zach was. He didn't know all of the things you now know.
Among the life-saving lessons she wants you to share,
The market is flooded with counterfeits. Do not take any pill that didn't come from a pharmacy. We didn't have that messaging back in 2020.
and don't trust dealers who claim they've tested their pills. The man who sold Zach his fatal pill on Snapchat was later convicted of manslaughter. Among the case evidence, this photo of a negative test strip from Snapchat, an apparent attempt to convince other buyers his drugs were safe after Zach died.
A pill in pill form has not been tested.
And if you test a pill yourself,
The entire pill needs to be crushed. Your dilution ratio has to be right.
and she stresses you still need Narcan nearby with someone sober to administer it.
It's really important for young people to understand
Narcan couldn't have saved Zach because he took his pill alone.
they will not be able to administer to themselves.
His college acceptance letters were followed by condolence letters to his parents.
Your son epitomized the kind of student we welcome most. The University of California mourns with you in your loss. Zach would say, I don't exactly know what I want to do, but I know I want to help people.
And his story has.